Hello and welcome to our JBC online sports quiz this year. So good to have you with us. This must be what it feels like, Ben, to go live at Sky Sports News, 8 p.m. On a big night of action ahead, a cold, dreary evening on Tyneside. We hope your Wi-Fi's up to it. Really good to have you with us tonight. I'm Rick, and we've got Ben here with us tonight as well. Hi, Ben.
Hey guys, yeah, Rick, I'm hoping you're going to give us one of your best Sky Sports, and we're live.
And it's live.
Yeah.
Tyler quotes to start the evening. Listen, it's so good you can join us. There's obviously advantages to meeting online, isn't there? We can't be in St James's Park this year, but we know of many of you joining us actually from places way beyond Tyneside, around the UK, Sunderland even. People coming from really far-flung areas. We've got a bit of intro for you. The quiz itself is going to kick off at 8:10, but certainly in this little section, we want to make sure you're all clear about what's happening. You've all got your various devices ready. You know what codes to type in. I could definitely get this wrong, so we want to talk you through this, and we'll do it a couple of times. And we'll take you through a couple of slides now of instructions, and we'll come back to these as well before the quiz starts at 8:10. Okay, if you're hearing us loud and clear at the minute, you're doing something right. You are watching us live on YouTube and or via the Clayton TV link. The next thing you need to think about is if your team is in your household bubble, that's fine. You can just chat through the answers. But we recognize that lots of teams will be meeting across different sites, so you're going to need some sort of way of staying in touch with your teammates. So that can be via a Zoom meeting. I guess you could set up a WhatsApp group and text quite quickly. Email might be ambitious, Ben, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know how fast people type. That's
yeah. So
double points to any team that does it all on email, I guess.
Zoom is definitely the way a lot of people go these days. As was pointed out today, some of the free Zoom accounts cut out after 40 minutes. So don't fret, we've built in a couple of time slots where we can get you guys to refresh your own Zoom meetings, and you'll not miss any of our questions that way. So look out for those. Final thing that you need is another device or screen on your laptop to submit your answers. And we said team captain or whoever, one person in the team really has to take a lead on that. Load up the Google form and type in answers as you go. We're not submitting those round by round. We'll get you to submit them all at the end. So a bit of time to check, and we'll build in a couple of breaks for discussions, and then you press go at the very end and submit your Google form to us. That link to the Google form should be in the description below. We'll put it in the chat as well. These are all new terms to me. I've heard of chat before, but if you don't know what a description is and you can't see it, you might be in full screen mode. If you come out of full screen mode in YouTube, you should be able to see description links below. Ben's keeping me right on the IT. And we've got Etty behind the scenes as well, and Matt, and we'll give a big shout out to them later as well. They're doing a great job in supporting us tonight. Always the hardest question in a quiz, Ben, for me is a team name.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you gotta it's what do you think of? Lots of people come up with these punny names like you see on fantasy football, but I'm one, I tend to just go for something completely random. I think my current fantasy football team are called the Puddles or the Dog Biscuits or something like that.
Okay, well, that
works.
What
would your team name be?
That works. Well, as we're going to talk about later, Ben, we came up with one. My team in the national quiz came up with one that was called Sylvan Distancing. So I guess you can use various pandemic puns if they're tasteful. So we went for a footballer with a bit of a pandemic theme. So yeah, that's mine for the decade. Really, I think I thought of that, but I've definitely no more. I find it very stressful thinking of a team name. So my thoughts are with you all as you do that. One of the limitations is we have no idea who's playing tonight. I mean, I'm sure there's several thousand, but it could be even more. We want to see you, so we've set up this email address, and Matt's going to monitor that and monitor the chat. please take a photograph of your team on Zoom or your team in your bubble. Send that in, and we'll have a show of some of those pictures later on, so we know who's playing.
Cool. And so the format of the quiz is going to be quite simple. We've got 4 rounds, and as we mentioned, we've got a couple breaks in there. So we'll have the first 2 rounds of the questions. Then we'll have a small, I think it's about a minute pause, where anyone who's on one of these free Zoom links can quickly swap over. Then we'll be right back into it with round 3. After that, we're going to have a 5-minute break. And it just gives your teams a chance to actually collaborate your answers, because from our experience of doing quizzes like this, you know, there's questions you miss, you've got to come back to them. So we've got a 5-minute break after round 3, just to let you really settle and work out what the answers were before that. Round 4 is quite a different round to the rest. So we'll have that round, followed by a tiebreaker question in case at the very end we have multiple teams on the same number of points at the end. As this is, you know, just kind of a fun quiz, please don't Google anything. If at the end we've got 20 teams on 40 points, we're going to get quite suspicious. The tiebreaker should hopefully differentiate anything where it's really tight. After that, we'd like you to submit all your answers. So whoever it is in charge of that Google form, we'll have a 3-minute countdown, and make sure you've submitted by then, because otherwise submissions are cut and we might not get your answers in. Then we're going to have another swap, it seems. And then we've got a short video, which is Bruce Dyer, an ex-footballer. I think he played for Barnsley and Crystal Palace. He's sent us a short video talking about his story of playing in football, and in particular, his story of faith. You know, we're linked with the churches, JPC, HTG, and SJB.
Well done, Ben.
not to mention CIS. So I mean, all the acronyms. That's probably what round 4 is, just all the acronyms at the end. But yeah, so we've got a short talk from him, just talking about his experiences of playing football at a very high level. He was the first £1 million teenage transfer in the Premier League, or to the Premier League even. And so he's going to be talking about his story and how Jesus impacted it. After that, we're going to have the answers, and we'll also, before this, I think we're going to have a chance to actually see those pictures you've been sending in to us. So please do, if you haven't already, do get on that as soon as possible. And then, of course, we'll have the results, and I believe we even have a trophy.
We have a trophy. Is it too early to see that? We'll keep it till later. We'll keep it.
Okay. We'll keep it till later. But yeah, I mean, we'll go through this all again. But Rick, as you mentioned, Sylvan distancing, your team. There was a CIS national quiz. I think they did 4 times, and Sylvan distancing actually won the first one, didn't they? So, what tips do you have for everyone playing?
I don't like to bring it up, Ben, but it sometimes slips into conversation. There was 350 teams that night, just to point out. Tips wise, get a really big team. It's probably too late to tell you that, but we had a massive team, and that's essentially why we won. Other tips, just have a really good go at getting the questions right. The winning score that night, Ben, was 36 out of 40. So I don't know if we caught the rest of the UK a wee bit cold, because there was higher winning scores in weeks after, but we certainly hit the ground running. That was maybe mid-April, end of April. Definitely one of the highlights for lockdown for us. Good to take home that trophy first night of CIS national quiz. And there's another one, we'll flag it up at the end. There's the CIS team are running a couple more national quizzes, and the next one is in a couple of Friday nights time, so we'll send you information about that. I've got a question for you, Ben. Obviously, we're both in our football tops here. We'll talk about football later, but a little bit of a plug for minority sport first of all. And I know you're a big volleyball player. Indeed, before lockdown, you played volleyball 11 nights of a week, I think.
Not quite that much, but yeah. I'm now an ex-volleyball player. I called last season last, but yeah. I was playing for Team Sunderland in the Super League, and then also for the Newcastle Uni team. Really awesome experience. I think my best moment's got to be playing in a friendly against Scotland and blocking their captain. That was pretty up there. I don't think I can really beat that, whatever sport I kind of take up next.
Is it true you were the first £1 million teenager in volleyball?
I wish. Volleyball, even at the top leagues, I don't think it's not professional. There's one English team who you could argue are maybe semi-pro, and they actually entered the Volleyball Champions League this year. I think they got knocked out very early on, but really cool to see an English team actually getting quite far in terms of volleyball nationally, globally.
Everyone's hoping for at least one volleyball question tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I can't answer it, can I? Yeah, but I was going to give away some tips. I'll hold back.
We'll see what comes up. Okay, second run through our instructions. We want to give you a second chance, just if you're struggling, do put it on the chat. We can try and help. But yeah, make sure you've got your link up. You can see us live. If the chat's annoying, turn us down a wee bit. We won't be offended. Stay in touch with your team, Zoom or otherwise. Hopefully you've linked in together. That answer form is really important. So hopefully you've got that loaded up now. You'll see the link in the description. Type in your team name. There'll be 4 rounds of questions. Get us that team photo at some stage as well.
Yeah, and then the format, as we mentioned, 4 rounds of questions, 10 questions each round. We're going to have some breaks in there for any of you on a free Zoom account, just to swap over to your next Zoom. Otherwise, you'll leave us about halfway through the quiz. We've got a 5-minute break after round 3 for you to collaborate all the answers you've got. We know that this is going to go somewhat fast. So if there's a chance for you guys to catch up on any questions you might have missed, then that will be there. There are summary slides at the end of each round, just so if there was a question you completely missed, it will come up again a second time. So don't panic about that. Then we'll have rounds 4 and a tiebreaker round before then getting you all to submit in your answers. We want you to send in pictures, so we'll show that after you've submitted your questions. We'll go through as many of them as we possibly can. And then we've got a short video from Bruce Dyer, the ex-footballer, talking about his life and faith and football. And that's going to be really great to hear. After that, we'll go through the answers and we'll do the results, and we'll give out the trophy, although virtually, I'm sure Rick will find a way to make it to the team that wins.
We'll sort that. Okay, I'm sure you've had enough of us giving you instructions. We're ready to delve into round 1. Okay, so first up, round 1's called Sporting Trivia, so some general knowledge. Round 1, question 1. What are the 5 colours of the Olympic rings? What are the 5 colours? I
just realised something we've forgotten to mention. On the Google form, if possible, try and put your answers in capital letters. We've written it here in the corner. The Google form, it's case sensitive. There's a big safety net. So if you forget on any of them, it should be okay. But just to be safe, please, your answers in capital letters. We'll
keep mentioning this. It's the safest way, isn't it? Everything in capitals. And there's a few other instructions about alphabetical order at times. It should all be quite clear in the form, but stick with capitals. So hopefully that's a starter for 10, really. Hopefully that'll get you up and running tonight. You can all picture the Olympic flag, hopefully.
Okay, question 2. How many golf clubs are you allowed to carry in your bag over a round? Clubs are you allowed to carry in your bag over a round? I hear, Rick, you're a Happy Gilmore. You only need 1 club.
The driver, yeah. 400 yards, then putt with it, Ben.
Yeah, you just hit it softer, don't you? That's all you need. Get the club that can hit the furthest, and then just.
Yeah, I mean, it's got the biggest head on it. It's hard to miss with the driver. I have done it, but you want the biggest head possible. The number of golf clubs aren't what holds me back, Ben. Yeah, I'd be happy with 2 or 3 other aspects of my swing, I think.
Do you have all the gear, the gloves, the hat?
Oh yeah, that's the main thing I have. Yeah, I do have the gear. All the gear, no idea, they say, isn't it? Okay, we've got an anagram for you tonight. So wireless animal is an anagram of which famous tennis player? Question 3, that is, on your form. Capital letters, please. Wireless animal is an anagram of which famous tennis player? These are hard because whatever letter you get in your head first, it's hard to shake it, isn't it?
Yeah. And then having capitals in there, it makes you think that maybe they're the ones to go for. I mean, this is first name and second name. Maybe that's helpful to say.
Okay. Yep.
But then I can't think of that many surnames which would have this many letters. So maybe a Polish player or something or other, ski at the end.
There's no Z's in there. Yeah.
Cool. Question 4. In which sport would the officials be carrying these cards? In which sport would officials be carrying these cards? You've got a red circle, a yellow square, and a green triangle.
I don't know if that black pouch is mandatory as well, or that's just a optional extra.
You mean really bad? You get sent the black pouch.
The black one, yeah. Yeah, no review possible.
Yeah. But I mean, like, some of those shapes can't be nice for your pocket either. Like having triangles sticking around.
No, exactly. Maybe the pouch cushions it a wee bit. Yeah, a triangle card. How random. Okay, you've got a 33.3% chance here, if that makes you feel better. Question 5. Dina Asher-Smith won a gold and 2 silver medals at the 2019 World Athletics Championships. In which race did she take the gold? A, the 100 meters, B, 4x100 meter relay, or C, the 200 meters?
I really don't follow much athletics, I've got to admit.
No, and those are events that there's a big overlap, isn't there? Yeah, even if you knew a bit about the get this right. It's quite recent, at least 2019.
Yeah.
You guys might have been watching last year. But yeah, tricky one.
Okay, question 6. I am aware of this one. Who's the first woman to win a match at the PDC World Darts Championship in 2020? Who was the first woman to win a match at the PDC World Darts Championship in 2020?
It was great that darts could keep going during lockdown, Ben.
Has it actually the whole time?
Yeah, I think it was his first sport back. Basically, I guess you could just play if you set up your own hockey, and I think there was people were just playing in the front room, really, or the garage.
Yeah.
Don't know how official the competition was, but there was chat. That's how they did it. Yeah. Not too many other sports you can do that with.
Yeah, true. Because even the snooker took ages to come back, didn't it?
Yeah. Then they were quite cautious. Yeah, and they set it up in Milton Keynes in the end, and a big sort of bubble. So yeah, they're back up and running. Yeah. Okay. This is a new one for us. Which sport is this? Question 7. Your choices are A, blind football, B, bocce, or C, goalball. Looks fun to try.
I love the shin pad. He's got one shin pad on.
He must go in hard with that left foot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you think, if I'm assuming they can't see with the goggles on. The shin pad sends the ball in a completely different direction.
Yeah.
Did that.
Rugby-esque.
Okay, question 8. Only 2 countries have won more medals at the Winter Olympics than in the Summer Games. Who are they? Only 2 countries have won more medals at the Winter Olympics than in the Summer Games. Who are they? I believe the form asks you to separate these out with an and if possible. So do try and stick to the format.
Some of these cold countries, Ben. Somewhere with mountains.
Yeah.
Question 9. Okay, again, back in 2019, which position or what position did Wales finish in the 2019 Rugby World Cup? Seems like a long time ago, but February seems like a long time ago as well. What position did Wales finish in the 2019 Rugby World Cup?
Yeah, I'm sure there's definitely got to be some Welsh players at this quiz, especially thousands like we believe we are.
Yeah, fancy people for that one.
Okay, question 10, last question of the round. Only 2 players have scored Premier League goals for 7 different clubs. Name one of them. Only 2 players have scored Premier League goals for 7 different clubs. Name one of them. And yeah, and we said last time, no, well, when we did our practice, own goals count, because that would be Jamie Carragher, Richard.
Top of the charts.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's some questions that you could mull over that for days, couldn't you? There's some you just know or you don't. But the good thing about submitting at the end is you can mull over it, not for days, but for at least 40 minutes or so. So that's one to chew on if it doesn't come to mind immediately. Make a note and come back. Okay, I'll run you through the first slide here. It's on screen. If you want a recap of questions 1 to 5. 1, what are the 5 colors of Olympic rings? 2, how many golf clubs are you allowed to carry in your bag over a round? 3, wireless animal is an anagram of which famous tennis player? 4, in which sport would the officials be carrying these cards? 5, Dina Asher-Smith won a gold and 2 silvers at the 2019 World Athletics Championships. In which race did she win the gold? A, 100 meters, B, 4x100 relay, or C, the 200 meters.
And the second set of questions, who was the first woman to win a match at the PDC Darts World Championship in 2020? Which sport is this? Is it blind football, boccia, or goalball? Only 2 countries have won more medals at the Winter Olympics than in the Summer Games. Who are they? What position did Wales finish in the 2019 Rugby World Cup? And finally, only 2 players have scored Premier League goals for 7 different clubs. Name one of them.
Challenging first round.
Yeah, very much general knowledge there. Wide range of sports as well.
Yeah. Not too many gimmies there. See how you get on. Okay, changing theme a wee bit this time. Guess me quick. You're going to see an image that I think waxes and wanes over about 30 seconds. Sometimes it's blurry, sometimes it's the wrong way round. So you'll get a bit of a clue into a sports person. I think they're all sports people. It says guess me quick, but you've got the full 30 seconds. You don't get more points for guessing me that quick. So yeah, take your time, but you'll see this 30-second clip. Which sporting personality is behind the clip? Okay. Answering capitals, remember, answering capitals. Okay, we've got number 1 on screen now. Famous silhouette, perhaps.
It does get a bit clearer though.
It looks like it's going to go the whole way, doesn't it, Ben? But then it pulls back.
Yeah, it goes back and it gets less clear again.
It just teases you. But yeah, you've got the sponsor there. You've got the color scheme. Might help.
Okay, question 2. Got a racket here. Pro something or other. Rapic. Tropical as well, it says. Sounds like fruit juice rather than a tennis racket or racket base.
And it's broke.
Ooh, is that a world famous neck? Or that Adam's apple?
Yeah, it is. It is. Okay. See how you get on with that neck. Okay, so working our way up here. Not blurry or distorted, but just slowly getting there. It's maybe not going to show you all the face, or it might. little bit blurry. British athletics, Paralympian, presumably. How's your Paralympic knowledge?
Oh, very poor. I think just athletics in general, para.
Okay.
I don't know what the other one's called. Okay, question 4. Looks like the word Armoy on the jacket, on the shirt.
Okay.
That's got to give away a few sports, maybe. They're up. Maybe they're a diver. Ooh, wow. Okay, you got the whole face there.
Okay, flip that round in your head. Okay. All right. We all recognize the cricket bat. Question 5. Okay. So England player. I don't think we're giving too much away by saying that.
2019 on the jacket. So recent England player.
Okay. Yeah. Running weirdly with one of the arm behind his back.
Yeah, there definite chance of handball in football with this new rule they've got.
Very unnatural position, isn't it?
Okay, question 6. It says Springbok on the jumper, on the t-shirt. I don't know. I can't describe clothes anymore. Big bicep, probably recognizable tattoos. Who is that? A face tattoo.
It is, yeah.
Oh, okay. And then some kind of champion. They've got a big trophy there.
That's similar to our trophy, Ben. It's similar. You'll see it later.
What I like to hear.
Okay, question 7 of 10. Where is this one going to go? I think we've been to this sport before, possibly. Someone looks like they're throwing a ball in the air, doesn't it?
Yeah, surely if you know this face, there's no blur, is there?
There's no blur.
Harder to guess, maybe, but
you know her or you don't. Yeah. Tennis player.
Okay, question 8. Definitely a swimmer. Shoulder tattoo.
Okay.
I mean, I think possibly can work out the stroke from this picture as well.
Very impressive.
GBR.
Yeah.
Good
range of sports here.
Yeah.
Okay. Forget about the emoji. I think we're looking for the athlete behind the emoji. The emoji's hard enough to name. I don't know what that one means.
Yeah, some crazy kind of emoji, I guess.
Crazy face. So British athlete there. That's all we can tell you.
Okay, and last one, question 10. Rio 2016 on the back wall. Number 391. I don't know, for every competition? I assume you do.
Same number? Oh, no idea.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone's a real gymnastics fan, they might be able to work that one out. Classification of numbers. I think this one should be fairly straightforward as well.
Okay. Good. We've made it through 2 rounds. So some of you will be posh and pay for Zoom, like myself actually, but many won't, very, very reasonably. And if that's you, if you wanna swap now, we're going to give you 30 seconds to a minute to set up a new Zoom chat because it will run out after 40 minutes. So we'll promise not to show any slides for at least 30 to 60 seconds. As you do that, I'll just quiz Ben about Liverpool's 7-2 defeat.
I actually think the scoreline was worse than. I mean, because I think 3 of the goals were deflections. I'm going to sound like this fan who doesn't believe it and whatever, but I think the scoreline was slightly harsh. We got absolutely battered. but 7 was a bit crazy.
Sure. Merseyside derby coming up.
Yeah, Everton are on such good form as well.
They are.
It's quite worrying.
Yeah. We'll see how that goes.
Of course, Leeds doing a lot better than people expected. Patrick Bamford already on 3 out of 4.
Already on fire, Ben. Yeah, one of those classic players who you just can't cut at the Championship level, but is just on fire in the Premiership. So exciting times for Leeds fans. Hoping to get down to see us play at some stage this season. Maybe it'll be closer to the spring now. But really good start. We played Liverpool at the wrong time. Obviously, we'd love to be playing them now that they're useless, but we only scored a 3 past them. So
I think Liverpool have been very generous because got beat by Leicester 5-2.
Yeah.
Man U 6-1, and Liverpool like, okay guys, hold my beer. Let's get beat 7-2.
It's not going to continue. They'll sort themselves out. Too many solid players, I think. Okay. We're being poked to go into round 3, and I think that's reasonable. Hopefully you Zoomers have caught up and you're on your second Zoom session of the night. Welcome back. Round 3, this sporting decade. Okay. So wind back your recent memory here. Enter all answers in capital letters, please. Keep going with those capitals. Okay, question 1. Okay, so men's football. Which men's English football club won the most major honours in the decade? Domestic and major trophies only, not including the Jose Cups or the Super Cups or the Club World Cups. So again, this is one you could ponder for a while. Lots of these teams have been successful, clearly. Man City or A, B, Chelsea, C, Manchester United, or D, Liverpool.
I'm not going to claim that Super Cup or Club World Cup is a big trophy to win.
Well, no, you guys have got the big ones, Ben.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's one you could puzzle over for a while. Again, make a note of it if you're not sure. You'll have a bit of thinking time built in later on. So do your calculations and come back to it if you need to.
Yeah. Okay. Question 2. Not my sport, but which player has scored the most Test match cricket runs in the last decade? Is it A, Alistair Cook, B, Virat Kohli, C, Joe Root, or D, Steve Smith? Which player has scored the most Test match cricket runs in the last decade? A, Alistair Cook, B, Virat Kohli, C, Joe Root, D, Steve Smith. I've heard of 3 of the players, but
who are you struggling with?
Virat Kohli.
Okay, top Indian batsman.
Yeah, so that's what I'd assume, but
okay.
The only cricket I'm really aware of is like the Ashes.
Sure, he'll be the most well-known cricketer in the world, Ben. Massive cricket audience in India.
Well, yeah, true.
Yeah. Currently playing for the Royal Challengers Bangalore in Dubai. Question 3. Which male rugby union player scored the most international points this decade? So we've got a few home nations players and then a wild card. A, Owen Farrell. B, Johnny Sexton. C, Greg Laidlaw. D, Florine Vlacu. Just say a pronunciation and seem confident.
Yeah, go for it confidently. We should have looked up some of these, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, who knows how many points Florine Vlacu has been pumping over in Eastern Europe in the B and C tier of European rugby.
He could be on the quiz for all we know, Rick. I'm hoping he sends in an email.
You're right. Our reach goes far.
Okay, question 4. Moving on. Which nation won the most Winter Olympic gold medals in the decade? Which nation won the most Winter Olympic gold medals in the decade? Is it A, China, B, Russia, C, Norway, or D, Canada? A, China, B, Russia, C, Norway, D, Canada. Do you follow much Winter Olympics when it's on?
Can't say I do, Ben. You can make a case for any of those. Wow. Yeah.
I guessing here, but as Russia were banned for a while from the Summer Games, maybe they were banned from winter as well.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah.
But then I don't know. They could have still been a dominant force in it.
Yeah.
I can't even remember the answer to this one. So
yeah, we would struggle there, I think. But you guys will know. You guys will be fine with it. Okay, back to tennis. Question 5. Which male tennis player won the most Grand Slams in the decade? A. Novak Djokovic, B. Rafael Nadal, C. Roger Federer, D. Stan Wawrinka. This question obviously written before yesterday's French Open final. Hopefully the result of that doesn't affect things. But yeah, you can, if you think it does, then discount it because the question was written before then.
Yeah. And I was watching a video recently. Apparently, there was a tournament where they changed the clay from orange to blue.
Okay.
I think it was the Madrid Open in 2012, and massive disaster.
Okay, then.
It completely changed the sport. The whole, clay is fast. Suddenly it was clay is for slow players who just stand at the baseline.
Okay.
It was immediately removed and never tried again.
Okay.
Yeah, just a fun tennis fact I've learned this week.
I mean, they should try green clay or something. It could be better.
Yeah, I mean, so Rafa and Federer were very against changing the clay.
Okay. Yeah. Status quo. Yeah.
Okay, question 6. Which nation won the most women's Six Nation titles in the decade? Is it England, France, Wales, or Ireland? Which nation won the most women's Six Nation titles in the decade? England, France, Wales, or Ireland?
Scotland don't even make the cut, Ben.
Really?
Obviously, women's rugby must be similar to men's. Scotland don't even get on the short list.
You're going after everyone this quiz.
Yeah, there'll be no Scots. There'll be no Scots listening on. They won't mind.
Places we are to the border, you don't think any Scots are taking. I'm sure the YouTube comments are completely kicking off right now.
We'll be hotting up. Yeah. Okay, so this time we're looking for the second most successful tennis player of the decade. So in women's tennis, after Serena Williams, which woman won the most Grand Slams this decade? Okay, so that's tricky. A. Naomi Osaka, B. Simona Halep, C. Maria Sharapova, D. Angelique Kerber. Serena just must be head and shoulders, Ben.
I think so, yeah.
They're number one, yeah. Still winning.
Isn't it? Yeah, I'm sure she must be closing in on some of the all-time records.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, question 8. Who was the only driver to win just one Formula One Drivers' Championship this decade? Who was the only driver to win just one Formula One Drivers' Championship this decade? Was it A. Jenson Button, B. Nico Rosberg, C. Sebastian Vettel, or D. Fernando Alonso? A. Jenson Button, B. Nico Rosberg, C. Sebastian Vettel, or D. Fernando Alonso?
Are you an F1 man, Ben?
Not an F1 man, but I have seen the F1 documentary on Netflix, and I really recommend it.
Okay, yeah.
Who's probably doing the quiz was the one who recommended it to me. Okay. Yeah, it was a great recommendation.
A lot of those behind-the-scenes documentaries are just brilliant. You see sport in a different way and different insight into teams, and
I love this stuff because it follows like the chief engineers and the drivers of the low-level teams.
Okay.
So you get a lot more of the whole picture, I think, rather than just kind of Hamilton winning everything.
That's certainly happening again. Paralympics, question 9. Which nation was the most successful in the Paralympics this decade? You can choose from A, Great Britain, B, China, C, Brazil, D, the USA. A, Britain, B, China, C, Brazil, D, the USA?
Hmm.
Big breath and have a guess from me there, Ben, I think.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I could make a strong argument for all of them. Maybe
Yeah,
one of them.
agree.
But,
Agree.
yeah, tough question. Okay, last question. Which men's European club have won the most domestic trophies in the last decade? A. Barcelona, B. Benfica, C. Paris Saint-Germain, or D. Celtic? Which men's European club have won the most domestic trophies in the last decade? A. Barcelona, B. Benfica, C. Paris Saint-Germain, or D. Celtic?
That's another one to give a good mull to, I think,
Hmm.
in your time off. You might be drawn to one, but you might want to count them up. Some dominant clubs there, certainly, aren't there?
Yeah. Possibly also comes down to how many domestic trophies you can win.
Yeah, that might differ in different leagues. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, so ponder that one. We will run you through the 10 questions again. So this is round 3. First 5 questions. 1. Which men's English football team won the most major honours this decade? A. Man City, B. Chelsea, C. Man U, D. Liverpool. 2. Which player has scored the most test match runs in the last decade? A. Alistair Cook, B. Virat Kohli, C. Joe Root, D. Steve Smith. 3. Which male rugby union player scored the most international points this decade? A. Owen Farrell, B. Johnny Sexton, C. Greg Laidlaw, D. Florine Vlacu. 4. Which nation won the most Winter Olympic golds this decade? A. China, B. Russia, C. Norway, D. Canada. 5. Which male tennis player won the most Grand Slams in the decade? A. Novak, B. Raphael, C. Roger, D. Stan.
And the second set of questions, which nation won the most women's Six Nation titles in the decade? England, B. France, C. Wales, or D. Ireland? Question 7, after Serena Williams, which woman won the most Grand Slams in the decade? Naomi Osaka, Simona Halep, Maria Sharapova, or Angelique Kerber? Question 8, who was the only driver to win just one Formula One Drivers' Championship this decade? Jenson Button, Nico Rosberg, Sebastian Vettel, or Fernando Alonso? Question 9, which nation was the most successful in the Paralympics this decade? Great Britain, China, Brazil, or the USA? And finally, which men's European club has won the most domestic trophies in the last decade? A. Barcelona, B. Benfica, C. Paris Saint-Germain, or D. Celtic?
We're going to have our first pause of the evening, I think, Ben, aren't we? We're going to put 5 minutes on the clock. Have a recap of all those 3 rounds, guys. If you've nailed them all, send us a picture. Have a drink. Stretch out. We've got round 4 coming, but we're going to give you 5 minutes now to review, to break, and to refresh. See you in 5. Oops, better come back. Okay. So we got some encouraging feedback, Ben, there about numbers viewing tonight, didn't we?
Yeah. Apparently 80 plus people on stream, so that's great to see. Thanks everyone for tuning in and joining us. I've also been sent a brilliant comment on Facebook, which is that apparently I look like Takumi Minamino, the Liverpool player.
How long did you spend on your hair and makeup today?
Oh, very little. I think I had a shower and then had a shave because I was really messy, and then it's just sticking a headband thing inside.
Okay, quite a while.
My hair's quite some length right now.
Okay. Round 4. Emoji. I think that's how you pronounce that. So yeah, you know what's coming. Enter in capital letters. You're going to see some emojis, and they're all going to be sports teams. We've got an example, I believe. So that's the example. If you saw that on screen, Ben, would you know what sport teams that represents?
Not straight away. I think the thing with these is you want to just shout out everything related to the word as possible. So you'd be like dot, spot, fire, burn, and then maybe after that someone will connect a few and they'll go, Blackburn.
Okay.
And then get it that way.
Okay. Yep. So that's for example. Question 1. So you've got these 3 emojis here that represents one particular team. We're looking for you to tell us what that team is, in capital letters, of course.
Perhaps worth saying these aren't football teams. These are teams from any sport at all.
Yep. Cast the net as wide as we can. Yeah. We know these are a bit tricky, or some of them will be more tricky than others. We are trying to give you a full 60 seconds for each of these, so a little bit longer than some of the questions. Some you get like that, but some you will want to tease out with your team a wee bit more.
Yeah, definitely more team members will be helpful here, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, we've had some photographs in. I think we're excited to see them, but room for more. So if you get one of the emojis really quickly, fire us an email with some photos, and we'll get you up on lights live on YouTube to the world, essentially, in 10 or 15 minutes time.
Yeah. Okay, question 2 up now. Looks like a 10, a wave, then some kind of shirt with a tie, and some hands. Reading a book, perhaps?
Not the not the most straightforward, is it? And we've seen the answers, and
yeah, I mean, we've seen the answer. I still can't remember what this is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you just got to be firing out words that might be related, and then someone will pick it.
I'm spending all my downtime, Ben, trying to figure out if there's anyone who's ever played for Newcastle, Liverpool, and Croatia to match all your shirts tonight.
To match up with all 3. I don't think Liverpool have ever had a Croatian player, or at least not in the most recent times.
Lovren, is he Croatian?
Sorry, of course, Dejan Lovren.
I was thinking of Newcastle and Croatia. Obviously, they've got Dubravka at the minute, Slovakian, but I couldn't think of a Newcastle Croatia player. My brother can text me. I'm sure he's followed Newcastle for 15 years. Craig, tell me about a Croatian Newcastle player, and I'll tell the world. Question 3. Okay, what do you make of question 3? A smartly dressed man, blonde hair, maybe that's important. Moustache.
Yeah, some kind of butler, maybe.
November. A chess piece, maybe a pawn, or confused face. And Newcastle's weather.
Is that a mini dab, do you think?
Okay. He's getting there, yeah. He's moving up. So yeah.
Yeah, been watching some. I mean, I basically spend all my time watching TV and watching a show. I learned that if you're a butler, you buttle. You don't serve. You buttle.
You bottle.
That's another fun fact for you.
Did you learn that on the documentary about the Savoy Hotel? No.
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
It's well worth watching.
So, tell me more.
I think I'm intrigued by luxury, Ben. I've never stayed anywhere like that. I think rooms start at £1,500 per night.
Ooh, okay.
But Gordon Ramsay runs the restaurant and things. It's a military operation, really, but just an exercise in class, really. It appeals to me. That level of luxury, yeah.
Okay, question 4. Got a face with some sunglasses, looking pretty cool. Then there's a cat, also very happy. An ear, a night sky or a photo, and then a horse rider.
My brother's told me that Silvio Maric played for both Newcastle and Croatia, Ben.
It's good knowledge, yeah.
Over my head, yeah.
Person who's got him in their team's probably doing pretty decent. Well, I think we should also give a shout out. So we did run this quiz last week as a brief run through just to make sure things worked, and we had some very generous volunteers who came and sat for it and did it on their own. Jamie Linton got 16 points on his own, didn't he?
That's right.
I think a really impressive score for someone playing singly. So I'd give him a shout out as well.
Yeah, I just had a message from a friend in West Cumbria, Tom Wright and his family. They said that their house also they charge £1,499 per night as well. So Savoy level banter and service over there in West Cumbria if you can afford a night over there. Question 5. Everyone's obviously getting these really easy. That's why they've got time to text us. We've got a confused looking lady, an angel, and a couple of paper clips.
Yeah.
It's confusing me. Yeah. It's confusing me.
Yeah, I think for this one, the first emoji is the one that throws you off the most. So
okay.
Almost you want to ignore that one, find something for the other 3, and then one fits it.
Okay. It's often the thing, isn't it? If you latch onto a bit of it correctly and you're right, then you're away, and you get the rest of it in hindsight, don't you?
Yeah.
Okay. Question 6.
Question 6. Ham, a sick guy, someone ill. Then 100. And then a scholar's cap. A mortarboard, is that the technical term for that?
That rings a bell then, yeah. Yeah. Good man. Have you ever worn one of those?
I have, but in Newcastle it's actually all fake. So they kind of banned mortarboards, I think, because people would throw them in the Tyne. So you can have a photo and the cameraman will come with his own. So you can But you don't actually wear one for the whole graduation ceremony.
I see. It's a Newcastle tradition that got out of hand.
Yeah, seems to be. So that's
okay. Well, other universities still use the real thing and get to keep them. Hey. Okay, hopefully you've got an answer for that one. Number 7. A pair of trees, bright green spot, rowing boat, and some music notes, maybe quavers if you want to be precise about it, if my knowledge serves me right.
Do you know a football team nicknamed the Quavers?
Is there one?
I don't know, but it could be the answer if there is. Okay,
yeah. It's got a certain ring to it.
Sounds more like a packet of crisps.
Yeah. Don't get distracted by quavers. Might be irrelevant.
Could well be.
That sort of green emoji looks a little bit fake, doesn't it? It just doesn't look like it should be there.
A fake as in?
Yeah, just like copy and pasted from a non-emoji set of images.
Oh, I'm sure it's not emoji. And
Okay, fair enough. There is no green emoji.
yeah. Oh, I don't know. It's not got a face either. I thought an emoji has to have some kind of face.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you see some circles, but anyway.
Okay. Question 8. This one is a 1. Then some kind of tractor and a hot dog with some mustard. How would you take your hot dog? Or are you more a burger guy?
Okay. Very much either, yeah. So I like mustard that doesn't taste of much, American mustard, English mustard. How people eat that stuff.
Just so strong, you mean?
Like a small whiff of it just absolutely blows the nose out of me.
Mm.
I don't get how people have tolerance to that. It astounds me.
Mm. I mean, I'm with you. I don't take any condiments really. Ketchup, mustard, none of them.
Okay.
Man.
Really unusual, Ben.
Mm.
You are just really unusual in many ways.
Hopefully in a good way.
You're more into accessories than condiments. Question 9. We've got a castle, a motorized vehicle, and a pair of, well, tigers. Yeah, they don't look very aggressive, but I think they're tigers.
Mm.
Cats.
The motorized vehicle.
Yeah.
There's a car.
I mean, yeah, you could, yeah. Yeah. Little blue car.
Mm.
So yeah, remember that's the penultimate question of the sports quiz. Tensions building. Is anyone on for 40 out of 40?
Ooh, got to be impressive if anyone's up there.
This is a hard set, I think. Yeah,
some of these are really tricky.
30 plus, I'm impressed with.
Okay, here we go. Looks like a screw or a nut or a bolt or something like that. Then the word on with some arrows. A 1. Then a deer. And 2 ears. Or a male deer, perhaps.
There's a lot of pairs of things, isn't there?
Mm.
I can never decide whether, the longer emojis are easier or harder. It gives you more of a chance to get a handle. Sometimes the longer ones.
I feel like you need 2 or 3 that you can see as like a sequence, and then you can almost guess the rest.
Doesn't matter how long the rest is. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But if you're just stuck with like one random one in spots, it's almost impossible.
Yeah. They're so annoying, and then when you see the answer, you just know it. No. Okay, we'll not obviously read all these out, but you've got the 10 in front of you there. We will give you a little bit of time to digest that. We've got a tie break coming up, and we've got a check final answers slot that gives you a 3-minute window to do a bit of playing about and discussing. So that's where we're going in the next 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, and then after that we'll do some pictures. So as we said before, make sure you're sending them in. We know we've already got some pictures sent in, but do make sure you're sending them in.
Looking forward to that. So this tie break, Ben, it's in case teams end up on equal points, isn't that right?
Yeah, so if a team's clear ahead, we're not going to use the tiebreaker tool. If there's 2 teams or 3 teams or 5 teams who are all on the same number of points, then the tiebreak, I believe you've got to be as close as possible to the answer. So we'll give you the question. It's something, if you actually guess it bang on, that's incredibly impressive. But you can't really work out, and so closest guess wins.
Yep. Okay, so that's where we're going next. Yep. So round 4, hopefully you're happy-ish with those emojis. Scribble a few down, and you still got 3 minutes to check them at the end. So this is our tie-break question on the topic of red cards. How many red cards have been given out in the men's English Premier League football competition over the last decade? And that's defined as from the start of the 2010-11 season to the end of the season just past, to the end of the 2019-20 season. So how many red cards have been handed out in that period? Not just straight red, so anytime 2 yellows, that counts as a red as well. So total number of red cards. We know you won't get it bang on, but that's fine. As I say, it's just if 2 teams end up on the same points, hopefully Matt can do the maths really quickly and tell us who's closest to that answer, and that'll be the way that we produce our final ranking table.
Yeah. And I think I was way out with this. I was a couple hundred out.
Okay.
Best, wasn't I?
So yeah, you gotta, I don't know, get your season average, or think of many. If you follow a team, how many players from your team might get sent off on average in a season? Multiply that by the 20 other teams and go from there. So hopefully you get a ballpark figure. Maybe you just know this. Some people out there, Ben, maybe they just carry this stuff around.
Very true. Yeah.
I mean, if they do, they've probably got 40 out of 40, and they won't need this tiebreak. But yeah. So you can use your 3-minute wrap-up time to keep thinking about that. You can use it to review the rest of your answers as well. So basically, we're starting the final countdown now. You must submit by the time the clock goes to 0. Okay, so definitely our advice is submit when there's 20 or 30 seconds to go. Don't cut it too fine. Send us your answers. Make sure you press submit on that form. Okay, so we're going to start your 3-minute timer now. Okay. We're back. Yeah, so big breath. I always find that moment very stressful, trying to get your answers in, trying to make sure your team captain presses the right button. You're ready to grab your team captain if anything goes wrong at this point. But hopefully that's all went smoothly, and you've got your answers in, and you can breathe and settle down. We're conscious that you might be running out of Zoom time, so we'll do 30 seconds filler here. And you might want to swap into a new Zoom to take you through to the end of the evening, if you're gonna run out. Ben, I've got a question for you.
Oh, go on.
It's true or false. It's easy.
Okay.
Did Ben Wooding spend many hours producing a 20-minute YouTube clip on how to pick the best fantasy football team?
Thankfully, not many hours. So I put many hours into another video I made, but then I threw together a quick video about Fantasy Premier League, and I mean it's one of those classic things, commentator's curse, where I made this video saying about who you should select for your team and all of that, and so you'd think I put all this research in, I was going to do well this season, and I think I'm bottom of pretty much every league I'm in. Dele Alli, Mourinho dropped him. I was, big shock for me. And then I think I had 2 red cards as well. So it's all gone opposite to my video. But yeah, I mean, if anyone's interested, feel free to check it out.
How many views have you had?
I was impressed. I got 150 views. I was expecting about 3 people to watch it.
Okay. Yeah.
It was far too nerdy for the general public, but a lot of people seem to have actually been in. So that's quite cool.
The season is still young. You could come good still. Keep the faith. Okay. We're going to see your photos really soon. I think it's time for a trophy reveal, Ben. I mean, that's why that's why some people have come tonight to win the trophy, clearly. Because one of the best things about the trophy is it's in this very snazzy box. Take it out. We're going to get this engraved as well with the winning team name. Going to be fantastic, so we'll take it back to the shop once we know who won. So what do we think of that? Nice piece of work.
Very nice. Star at the top.
Yeah, star at the top. It's going to be a little plate here with the quiz details and the team name, and hopefully within coronavirus protocols this could be passed safely around your team. If you are in different bubbles, you can work.
I guess that. 1 week each or something like that. 1 week per month. I guess the lower the members, the more likely you are to
keep it. Yeah. So, but yeah, it'd be hard to pass it on, Ben. Lovely piece of glass work there. So yeah, that's what we're playing for. We'll leave that over there. We'll see it later on. Okay. Photos. Let's see some of you who've been playing at home. It's exciting. Who's been playing along tonight?
The
champions.
Yeah, this is your team, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm gonna call myself the vice captain, Ben. So they're missing obviously a big presence tonight there. But
I mean, there's got to be some kind of conspiracy if this team ends up winning, though. I feel.
Yes, I'm sort of hoping we maybe get a close second or third, really, a medal position. Nice front room. Is that something like dried banana chips and seaweed as snacks?
Yeah. So you sent this in? Is this Steve sending it in from?
Don't know. I wonder is it Rob or? Yeah, well, they'll tell us, I'm sure. But yeah, interesting. But well done, boys. Yeah, I recognise a few of the lads there. Yeah, well done, guys.
Okay, it's obvious who sent this one in. This is definitely Gordon with his phone on screen.
Very good.
Cool.
Playing along with his team of 5 others, a few different households. Big smiles. Yeah. Most people looking happy. Yeah.
I haven't had the answers yet, so maybe that's why.
Fiercely competitive, I'm sure. If I know Gordon, he'll be pushing for a medal tonight, pushing for that trophy. The Dream Team and Mike. Okay, we've got Nathan and Jess from Bangor and Wales. Wow. after us slagging off Wales, we've had a couple of folks from there, or probably originally not from there.
Yeah, I don't think they are Welsh themselves.
No. I recognise closer to home. So thanks for sending that in, guys. It looks like a big party in Wales, obviously, with 6 people and under, which is good.
Big social distancing party.
Playing along.
Cool. Can't work out who sent this one in. That looks like Ian Garrett in the top right there.
Okay, yeah, concentrating there, Ian. Yeah, good. Yeah, I see Craig there. Good. Yeah, they're all a picture of concentration, obviously. Again, here to win.
And they've got the the proper technology as well. MacBook Air. It's, I think you'd see a couple of those in the Savoy, maybe.
That's classy. Those guys will be paying for Zoom. They won't have to be using the free version. Those guys will be paying for Zoom. Okay. I've had a request to say something in a Northern Irish accent, Ben. I don't really understand, but I'm going to do it.
Okay, go for it.
It's good, but it's not right.
Did you change your accent there?
That's it. I just went a little bit stronger, or felt stronger.
Yeah, I mean, it had to be, as you are from Northern Ireland, you'd hope that the person's realised you've been using that accent all quiz, maybe.
All night. Yes, I don't know something particular about that catchphrase, but always happy to play along with our fans, of course.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks, Brian's Brains. That's a bit of a tongue twister, spell twister. Hope you guys had fun tonight. And finally,
Charlie's Angels. Ah, I see. This is some of the students.
Okay.
Wow.
All sorts of sports memorabilia there.
Yeah. Frisbee. Ooh, ultimate frisbee, that sport. It's no referee.
Absolutely.
I feel like we've taken shots at every nationality so far. I think we can start taking shots at sports as well.
Is it a football in the middle?
Yeah, it must be, mustn't it?
Big orange.
But yeah, good to see them taking part.
Yep. So yeah, we've missed seeing you guys tonight. Thank you very much for sending those photos in. Much appreciated. Okay. Next part of the evening. As we said, we have Bruce Dyer lined up. Bruce would love to have been with us in person, sharing with us in St. James's Park. But he's kindly recorded a video of his testimony, really, in terms of his journey to Christian faith, why he values that so highly, why it's the most important thing in his life, why it takes a higher place in his life than football and his achievements. And he's really happy that we can share this short video with you tonight. So have a look at this. It's just 4 or 5 minutes long.
Hey, my name is Bruce Dyer. I'm an ex-professional football player, now a pastor of the Love Life UK Church. And I'm just going to briefly just share kind of like a snippet of my life, hoping that this will encourage and be a blessing to somebody. And so I've not always been a Christian. I grew up in a Christian home. I went to church with my parents, but I went to church, had a lot of information and knowledge about Jesus Christ, but I always say there's a difference between having knowledge of Jesus Christ and having a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And so as a child, there's a lot of information, knowledge that I did take in, I did believe, but I never really properly understood, or I didn't really live that life of a Christian. And so as a kid, I signed for Watford Football Club at the age of 13.
Yep. So a bit quiet there, Bruce. We're having some technical difficulties. This is like when rain happens at cricket matches, and then the two hosts are brought on just to talk during the rain delay. So
yeah, they just like turn around with like half a sandwich, like.
Yeah. Thankfully, we're still at our desk, Ben. But yeah, I mean, we can talk. So yeah, we've had some answers in. Thank you for completing them, and it's good to see you on screen. And hope you've had had a good evening. I was looking up some of Bruce Dyer's achievements, Ben. I thought it'd be good to wiki him to see what he'd done in his career. So started at Watford, and I think he ended up back at Watford. But yes, I remember him playing in the mid-90s in a Crystal Palace shirt. So he had 5 years at Crystal Palace. But his most successful period was at Barnsley. Actually, he had 5 years at Barnsley. And he was a striker, and he ended up scoring, I think it was something like 59 goals in 181 games.
Not bad odds. Or
not bad.
Not bad ratio, yeah.
Not bad ratio, yeah. Because it's okay for your Salahs and your Firminos to be pumping in a goal a game, but when you play for Barnsley, if you're getting 1 in 10,
was he an out-and-out striker?
Yeah, I always pictured him as
before my time. I'm giving my age away.
Winger. Yeah, I always pictured him as a flying winger, but Wiki says, I mean, it's right. He was an out-and-out striker.
We did see a few of his goals at church.
We did,
didn't we? And he was properly banging them in. I mean, a highlight reel of his is very, very nice to watch. If you go on YouTube,
long-range screamers, weren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, Eddie tells us we're sorted, but we're happy to keep talking. No, we better not. Okay, back to the video.
Hey, my name is Bruce Dyer. I'm an ex-professional football player, now a pastor of the Love Life UK Church. And I'm just going to briefly just share kind of like a snippet of my life, hoping that this will encourage and be a blessing to somebody. And so, I've not always been a Christian. I grew up in a Christian home. I went to church with my parents, but I went to church, had a lot of information and knowledge about Jesus Christ, but I always say there's a difference between having knowledge of Jesus Christ and having a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And so as a child, there was a lot of information, knowledge that, I did take in, I did believe, but I never really properly understood, or I didn't really live that life of a Christian. And so as a kid, I signed for Watford Football Club at the age of 13. I did so nowadays you'd call it an academy player. Back then it was like a schoolboy player. And then I signed as a scholar at my apprenticeship when I was 16, did 2 years, moved away from home. And for me a little bit, that was the great escape away from church and having to go to church and me doing what I want to do. And then I signed pro when I was 18. And then when I was 18, in my first ever professional season, I made my debut, and then in my first ever professional season, I got sold from Watford Football Club to Crystal Palace in 1994 for a record transfer fee of £1.25 million. So I became the first teenager in the United Kingdom and the first teenager to be sold for over £1 million when I was 18. That was a phenomenal achievement. Went on to play in the Premier League, and accomplished many childhood dreams. We could say I was kind of living the dream, and then all of a sudden the dream became a living nightmare. And many people do ask me, why did you become a Christian? Why would you have needed to become a Christian? You was a famous footballer. You had all the strappings of life to say, which I did. My dream as a child was to become a professional football player, buy a house, buy my mum a house, buy a Mercedes convertible, see myself on Match of the Day, all those things, I kind of dreamt about as a child. And by the time I was 21, I'd accomplished all of those dreams. And I found myself a place in life where, there's a Bible verse that, I really do relate to. And it says this: what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and to lose his soul? What good is it to have all the things of this world, but then you lose your soul? And I could really relate that, because I actually found myself in a place where I had everything I'd ever dreamed about, but I was really so unhappy. and found myself in a real depressed state. At that time, I was drinking quite a lot, and I was doing things that I shouldn't have been doing, and I got myself in a right mess. And it was a conversation in my darkest hour. I knew something was up, because at that time, as a footballer, you get 6 weeks off in the summer when the season finishes, and you know that 6 weeks, my life kind of spiraled out of control. And I remember at that end of that 6 weeks, when I was due to go back to my training, I've just found myself in a really, really dark place. And I remember at that time, which would have been August 1998, I had an older brother who made some bad decisions as a young man, who ended up in prison, but he became a Christian in prison. And I saw firsthand the transformation that the gospel message of Jesus Christ made in his life. And I remember him, he just so happened to phone me at a time when I was in a really, really low pace, and he began to share his story. And I remember as he began to share his story of how he became a Christian, I put the phone down, and all I could think about was Jesus. And in my mind, you know, my childhood memories of the stories of Jesus Christ dying on the cross, you know, his death, his resurrection, you know, repentance, you know, all these things became so real and profound to me that, you know, Jesus spoke about repent. You know, he said, repent, for the kingdom of God is at hand. He spoke about repentance, and I understood that repentance means, you know, having a change of mind that leads to a change of action. And repentance is basically apologizing to God and doing a 100-degree U-turn. You know, you're doing your own thing in life. Repentance is having a turn, changing, and going in the other direction, God's direction for your life. And I did that in 1998. I didn't get all deep, didn't start quoting loads of Bible verses, but I just said sorry, and just with sincerity of heart, I just asked God to help me, and I asked Jesus to come into my life and help me change. And I don't know how we did it, apart from, again, there's another Bible verse that I really relate to, and it says, if anybody is in Christ, you become a new creation. And it says, old things pass away, all things become new. And I became a new creation by the power of God, and that was in 1998. And my life has never ever been the same again. And so since then I retired. I live in Barnsley. I'm a sports coach. I work in schools. I do mentoring, sports coaching. I'm now the pastor of Love Life UK Church. My life has totally been transformed because of the power of the gospel of Jesus Christ. And I've learnt many valuable lessons in life, that you can have all the money in the world, you can have all the houses, the cars, and all the things that people say should make you happy, but there is something in every human being that I believe only Jesus Christ can fill. And so that's my story. I hope this encourages someone. You know, maybe you may be listening into this and you're feeling down and discouraged because obviously so much is happening in life. Well, let me encourage you. Try Jesus. He will never disappoint you. My life has never ever been the same from the day I allowed Jesus Christ to come into my life. And so God bless you. My name is Bruce Dyer. Thank you for taking the time to watch this short message, and I hope at some point I get to share the full story. God bless you. Take care.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was Bruce. I think the thing that stood out for me in what he's saying is, you know, this is a guy who's he's hit all the goals that he had, didn't he? He dreamed of being a professional footballer. He got there, and yet still he wasn't satisfied. He says that there's still something missing, and sadly, then that led him down a path of, he was trying to fill that gap, and it just kind of got worse and worse. And I think what he says there is just incredibly unique compared to any other worldview. It was no longer about more. He says, he found Jesus, and that was actually the answer that filled that gap. And I think for me, and I'm sure for Rick and for many others, if you've come here and you're not a Christian yourself, but you've come with a Christian friend, I'm sure they would say the same. So I think what I take away from it is there's as much as we want to say, oh, when I have that new job, or when I have that accomplishment that I'm looking for, then I'll be satisfied. Actually, without Jesus, we can never be satisfied, and that's incredibly challenging. So if that's something that stuck with you, we'd love for you to try and find out more, whether that's talking to your friend, or we're going to show a slide for some events that we're putting on as part of church. This is called Christianity Explored. It's a really easy way to kind of find out a little bit more in a environment that's not pressured. There's no pressure on you to ask anything, to say anything, but it's just a chance for people, if they want to find out more about what it is that Christians believe and why it is that we feel satisfied despite all the kind of the ways that society tells us we would otherwise need to be. This is a great thing for you. So Christianity Explored, there's a taster session next Tuesday, 20th of October at 7:30. It will be on Zoom, of course. And if you want to find out more, please do either go to the website, www.whyjesus.org.uk, or get in touch directly with Jonathan Redfern. And his email is jonathan.redfern@church.org.uk. You can see both of those there, but also do get in touch with the Christian who invites you along, and I'm sure they would love to talk to you about it. But anyways, let's move back to the quiz. I think we're now going to do the answers.
That's right, Ben. Yep. So we'll move through these fairly quickly. We hope to have you off home, as it were, by 9:30. But because we're saving on traveling time, we can go a little bit longer. But we'll run through these fairly quickly. Round 1, sporting trivia. Let's see how you get on here. 5 colors Olympic rings. Easy starter, isn't it? Yep. Blue, yellow, black, green, and red. I think we'd asked you for those in alphabetical order. So yep. Golf clubs in a round. 14, I think. Is that right? 14. Okay. So that's question 2. Number 3, wireless animal. Yeah, hopefully you had a bit of fun with this one. Hopefully it made sense in the end. The answer is, I think it's Serena Williams.
Serena Williams, yeah.
Yeah, a few S's, a few L's. In which sport would the officials be carrying this pack of cards? So, yeah, not football. There's an extra green one in there as well. It's hockey. Okay. Dina Asher-Smith then, and in these World Championships, which race did she take the gold in which of these events? So probably all her events really, but which one did she take the gold medal? That was the 200 meters. Ben was all over this one.
Yeah, I think it's Fallon Sherrick, but I think the thing that stood out for me was she didn't just win the first match, she then won her next match as well.
Okay.
Very cool.
Good one for her. Which sport is this? Okay, could have been a bit tricky. We could have worked it out. It's C, goal ball. Worth trying. Okay, so these couple of countries that are more successful at the Winter Games and the Summer Games, who might they be? We had a Winter Olympics question coming later. But okay, so we've got Norway. I mean, not surprise you. Austria as well. It's a tough one. Obviously, you would have needed both there to get the right answer. So no half marks.
Yeah.
Tough question. Wales rugby. Yeah, we had the guys from Bangor and Wales. I'm sure they've done their Welsh history before going down there to study. What position did Wales finish in the 2019 Rugby World Cup? 4th. Had to be 1st, 2nd, 3rd, or 4th, didn't it? You don't get a position below that.
Rugby team.
Yeah, they are. This was a teaser then. We love spending time working these ones out, but you didn't have that much time. Which 2 players have scored for 7 different Premier League clubs? Can you name either of them? Craig Bellamy, he's been around a bit, including up the northeast, and Peter Crouch.
Both ex-Liverpool players.
Both ex-Liverpool players, yeah.
But probably not remembered for their days at those. Maybe Crouchy. But...
Moved on quickly, yeah.
Cool. Round 2 then. This was the Guess Me Quickly with the pictures which were swerving and whirling. So question 1, Should know who that is. Harry Kane, Tottenham striker, England captain.
Yep.
Then number 2 was Andy Murray.
Scotland's hero.
Question 3. Well done if you got this.
Exactly.
Harry Adenegan. Confidently.
Agree.
Then question 4. This was the golfer. Jordan Spieth. You said this one last time.
Spieth, yeah.
Spieth.
Phenomenal golfer who's been really struggling over the last couple of years for some reason, but he'll come back.
Cool. Question 5. This was the cricketer, and it's Jofra Archer. Probably famous for his batting as bowling. But...
Exactly. Yeah, that could have caught you out. Yeah. You don't normally see him with a helmet on for too long.
Okay. Question 6. This was rugby player Talisi.
Yep. World Cup winning captain.
Question 7. I mean, you got all the face for this. So Johanna Conter or Joe Conter? Question 8. The swimmer, British swimmer, breaststroke by the looks of it, Adam Peaty. I think that's the only stroke he does, isn't it? Or maybe his famous one. And then this runner, Dina Asher-Smith. 2 questions on her.
That might have caught you out. Yeah, 2 questions in 2 rounds.
Yeah.
Sneaky.
And then question 10, gymnast, I think also another incredibly decorated Olympian, Simone Biles.
Okay, so hopefully you're doing well out of 20 so far, halfway there. The sporting decades, round 3. Let's see how you went here. Yeah, this was a real teaser. Which one were you leaning for, Ben?
I think you think of Man City because of the later part, but actually I think Chelsea did dominate more earlier on, and they just pick up a trophy, don't they?
They always do. Even their off seasons, they tend to get a cup. It is Chelsea. Yeah. Impressive. Which player has scored the most Test match runs? There's a case for all of these guys, I think. I don't think I would have had a clue. I just know they're all good batsmen. I wouldn't have said Joe Root. I've seen the answer 3 times and I can't remember. Alistair Cook. Most successful male rugby union points scorer. I might have been tempted by D here. You know, maybe Romania just tanking Eastern European teams every other week, but I don't think it's D.
Is he actually Romanian?
It just looks Romanian name to me, Ben.
Because I keep thinking he's French.
Okay, we'll Google him later.
Yeah, we should have done it before, but yeah, cool. Owen Farrell, though, that's the answer.
Owen Farrell. Which nation won the most Winter Olympic gold medals in the decades? Oh, I wouldn't have a clue here. You can make a case for any of them, as we said. It's Canada. Okay, impressive. Male Grand Slam player, tennis player who's won the most Grand Slams. Rafa went level with Roger yesterday on 20. But the most successful player in the decade, probably got coming up on their heels, is, I'm pretty sure, Novak Djokovic, making the news for all the wrong reasons in recent months. Okay, the most successful women's Six Nations team this decade is England.
Unusual for a CIS quiz. Normally England's never the answer.
Yeah, true. The second most successful female tennis player is D, Angelique Kerber. I think she has 3 Grand Slams this decade. They've obviously, apart from Serena, they've been quite evenly shared around. Yep. Number D. Yep, I would have been confident on this one. The only driver to win just one F1 Drivers' Championship this decade. Nico Rosberg for Mercedes. Question 9. Yeah, we were struggling with this one, Ben. Which nation was the most successful Paralympic nation this decade? China. It's got a lot of people. You can't look past that sometimes.
I think that's definitely
just wasn't a fair test. Question 10. Which European men's club have won the most domestic trophies? Really interesting. Certainly C and D seem to clean up domestically every year, don't they? Paris and Celtic. It is Celtic. Yeah. Particularly clean
up. Definitely not Barcelona just splitting it all the time, but then the other three, I think.
Quite dominant in their leagues, yeah. Okay, so that's us up to 30. Last 10.
Last 10, the emojis, probably the hardest round. So question 1. This was red, then a bull, and then a racing flag. So Red Bull Racing, the F1. Second one, 10, a C, a T, and I can't remember what the tans. So that's supposed to be hands, but tans. Tennis hands. Question 3. This was the butler. I can't remember the answer to this one. Manchester Thunder. Okay, so the outfit and the job was a disguise. Just looking. Question 4. Lots of smiling faces. The Kolkata Knight Riders. Well done if you got that one.
Yeah, that is tough.
Cool Cat A Knight Riders. Wow. Question 5. First emoji was a bit of a confusing one here, I think. If you got Angel Clippers, then you could have got the Los Angeles Clippers or LA.
Like she's lost.
Yeah, I think she must be lost, mustn't she?
Okay, yeah, we'll go by that just about.
Okay, this are they an Irish team? Hamilton Academicals.
Our Scottish friends again, Ben.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're picking fights with everyone this evening.
Gordon McFadden will not be impressed. Yeah. The Yankees.
Cool. And then 2 trees, probably enough for a forest. Forest Green Rovers.
That's a good one. So the music was verse. Yes.
Yeah, that's tough.
That's tough. But if you got most of the way there, you maybe got the end. That's the only.
Yeah, I think if you get Green Row, you might pick up on Rovers. Question 8. One truck hamburger. Eintracht Frankfurt. Wow. Very good if you got that. Very, very well done.
Mixing languages.
Okay, and then this was Someone Tigers. I think the car was a Ford. The Castleford Tigers. Couldn't tell you which sport that is though.
Rugby league.
Rugby league. Cool. And then this classic football team, not doing so well right now. Bolton Wanderers.
Pining for the Big Sam glory days.
You
never want to get rid of Big Sam. Okay, that's a wrap. That's our 40. Matt is beavering away behind the scenes. I'm not sure whether we needed the tiebreaker question. No, we should give you the answer to the tiebreaker question at least, shouldn't we? I don't know if we've got a slide for that.
We should.
But it's in my head anyway. Do you remember it, Ben?
Is it 481?
521.
521. Wow.
521. So yeah.
Very well done if anyone got that.
That was your tiebreak question. Yeah, 521 red cards handed out over that period.
And Matt's just let us know that the tiebreak wasn't needed. So very well done to the team that's won tonight. You've won, stand out, clear. And we've also got 3 more photos apparently. So we're gonna show you.
Days. Okay,
so that's gonna be
let's
cool.
see the photos.
I think they'll just be appearing shortly.
Great.
Cool.
Team photos part 2. Okay.
Screenshot. There's John Marwick. He won't be happy with all the Scottish stuff as well.
Indeed, yeah, we've offended quite a few people. Yeah.
I'm guessing maybe some work colleagues of his or something like that.
Okay.
Thank you
Redundant
very much, guys.
Rovers. Oh dear. Sorry to hear that, guys. Redundant Rovers. Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
no.
Hope you have better fortunes tonight. Very good. The Stanley Potters. Wow. Good to see you guys. Mr. Mather's
Real mix
big
of ages
fan.
in this one. I'm sure
Yeah,
that was an
they
advantage
should
with
have,
the emojis.
They should have everything. Yeah, exactly. More voices. Shout them out. They should have everything covered. Mr. JPC Hockey there, top left.
Is that a beer as well, it looked like?
Okay, nice.
Yeah, having a good time, clearly. Okay, and finally, the Soybeans. Okay, this looks like a youthful team.
It does.
Not a lot of chin hairs there.
So even this last decade might be, beyond them.
You think? Wow.
Well,
bit harsh. Now getting after ages.
We'll see how Soybean went. Well done, guys. Thank you for setting that in. Yeah, very youthful team. Well played, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We've got our leaderboard then. Who will take the gold medal? Who will take the coveted JBC CIS quiz trophy 2020?
21 teams, I believe, have responded. So
okay.
Very well done to the winner. Best of 21.
Yeah. Not to be taken lightly. Oh, we're getting them all in. Yeah, right down to 21.
Okay, so unlucky wooden spoon as it is. We've got Cumbrian, then Redundant Rovers, Emily and Friends, Randoms, and Charlie's Angels. 2 sent in pictures, so we do really appreciate the pictures, but unlucky tonight on the actual quiz scores.
My friend Mike was playing as a solitary Cumbrian, so well played, Mike. Well done.
Oh wow, yeah, well done, Mike.
No, fair play. I think he's on his own, so yeah, not straightforward. Well played, sir. Okay, then we're into the middle 10 you're going to give us. Okay, the mid-table, sort of comfortably escaped relegation. Who've we got there? So it's tight mid-table, Ben, isn't it? It really is one of those years that
very
things
tight.
have gone either way. A couple of teams equal on points there, but yeah, a couple
JPC Esports. That sounds like a what's the name? Franchise.
Gotta like a bit of quarantine. Right, very topical.
Been there, done that. There's some real bean kind of theme, isn't there? Soybean sent in a picture. Been there, done that.
Yeah, what is it with beans? Newcastle students, that's all they're eating, maybe?
Maybe.
Okay, have we got our top 8 then? We have, as we want to count down, we've got an equal 7th place. Northern Flower House with 23. Professor Quizwitty. Okay, we saw him last night. He's back on our screens tonight. Well played, guys.
Good Fridays. I like that name. And Mo's a dance floor. There we go. There's the pun, the sports.
Solid 25 out of 40 in a difficult quiz. Well played.
Well played. Ooh, Southern Researchers.
Yeah, sounds very official.
Quite
Yeah, we heard from Stanley Potters, didn't we? 26. So look how tight this is. Yeah, okay.
Do we think a team's managed to get 30?
Look, all will be revealed.
Also, I still haven't noticed Sylvan distancing yet.
I know, I was dreading that, Ben. I'm sure they haven't won. They wouldn't do that to me. Second place, Sylvan distancing.
Sylvan distancing, 29.
Well played, Sylvan. Silver medal to go with our gold. That's very good. We're getting the set. Well played, boys.
So yeah, huge achievement to this top team then. 31 points.
It needs to go in size 4 font. It's such a big name. The Whitley Bay FC Supporters Club, Jesmond Branch, 3 stars.
So I believe this is Chris Redfern and
co.
Charnley and people. I believe that is their crew for going around non-league football.
A few of those boys, yeah. And I think they've won our in-person quiz before. They are quite successful on a local level. I mean, I would challenge them. Are they good enough to do it on the national stage?
So they're a Patrick Bamford, or are you guys the Patrick Bamford?
We're Patrick Bamford. We do it nationally, yeah.
Yeah, and so Tim Whitbread as well, probably in that.
Absolutely. Well played, boys. And a couple of points ahead. No need for our tie break. As I say, previous champions, I'm sure as well, the Whitley Bay boys. I can pitch them up there on the top table at many a sports quiz in years gone by, and they've come up trumps again. This trophy, I'm sure Whitley Bay's trophy cabinet is absolutely crying out for this. So really, I would suggest donating it to the club as a goodwill gesture. We'll get your name down here. Please email us the picture of this in the Whitley Bay clubhouse. Matt will continue to monitor the Newcastle Sports Quiz at gmail.com email address for the rest of his life. So send us anything at all to that email address if you think we'll find it humorous. Well played. Maybe a good point to say a thank you to our behind the scenes team, Ben.
Yeah, absolutely. Etty and Matt have really been carrying us here, I think, because me and Rick have the easy job. We're literally just talking about whatever appears on screen in front of us. They're behind the scenes. I think there's multiple PowerPoints which are being moved up and being edited in the background, and all the video and everything like that. They've been putting a lot of work in over the last couple of weeks, making sure everything works. So huge thank you to those two.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. Yeah, it's been brilliant. We've got our final slide probably yet, just one we've flashed up before. I guess a couple of things to leave you with just at this point. One is if you've enjoyed tonight's format and you want to do it again, you only have to wait something like 10 days, because I think it's happening again on a national level on Friday the 23rd of October. So the Christians in Sport national team, they run these quizzes currently one Friday a month, and you'll find details on their website. We'll put it in the chat, the link as well. It's the same 4-round format. Presenters just slightly worse quality, so if that affects your decision, but otherwise it's a very similar event. You'll really enjoy the quiz. So get along in 10 days time. Check out the website. The one we really want you to come to, certainly if you've been listening to Bruce tonight and you're asking questions and you want to find out more about what the Christian faith is and why it's changed Bruce's priorities from a Premiership £1 million footballer to setting up his own church, to devoting his life to do that, what's changed in his life. We'd really love you to come along on Tuesday the 20th of October. Again, there's pros and cons with online, but in many ways it's never been easier to join one of these courses from the comfort of your own home and interact that way and ask questions that way. And that course will continue to run on Tuesday nights. We know it won't suit everyone, so definitely we can come up with a bespoke plan for you. So check out the website, whyjesus.org.uk, email jonathan.redfern@church.org.uk. Certainly there could be options to explore alternative dates if Tuesday nights for whatever reason don't work for you. We'd love you to think those things through further. It's why we put the quiz on tonight, ultimately not to give away a trophy, but because we think Jesus is worth saying yes to. You know, like Bruce had said, we all have a need, and we all are on the wrong track, the Bible says, and Jesus has come and spoken into that problem and come to give us relationship and new life. And we believe the accounts of Jesus in the gospel, in the Bible, are true and can be examined and discussed and stand up to reason and to discussion. So please come along, please get in contact with us and reach out, and we'd love to hear from you. That's it for us. It's been good, Ben. Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, thank you, Rick. Thanks for taking the heat for me when we took on all those countries back then. I'm sure we'll be ducking the press for the next week or two.
hopefully we'll see you online soon. But next year, God willing, perhaps back in St James's Park. Do check these events out. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks for joining us. God bless. Bye bye.